We are following a police chase here in South Houston right now, Southeast Houston on Highway 288. Police are pursuing a black Mercedes right now. This chase has gone through parts of downtown Houston and into Midtown. Now that vehicle, that black Mercedes, you can see it there from Sky 2 on 288. Just a few minutes ago, we understand that HPD got a call about a bank robbery at the 5300 block of Bissonnette, an Amegy Bank there. Unclear if that's connected to this police chase. That vehicle, that black Mercedes, speeding on Highway 59 right now. You can see an HPD, a marked HPD SUV following very close behind. And we are still trying to find out why these people are running from police. But if you're just joining us here close to the top of the midday hour, this is a police chase taking place right now on a very busy stretch of Highway 59. Here's what we know. A few minutes ago, HPD got a call about a bank robbery at the 5300 block of Bissonnette at an Amegy Bank. It is unclear if that scene is connected to this police chase, but this police chase started moments after that call dropped at the 5300 block of Bissonnette at the Amegy Bank in Southwest Houston. Police are pursuing that black Mercedes going at a very high rate of speed. It's unclear who is driving that vehicle or how many people are inside of that car, but this person clearly does not want to get caught.
So now that vehicle is headed I-10 west. So they've already covered a pretty wide area. Again, as you said, started over there in the 5300. We think maybe in the 5300 block of Bissonnette, where that Amegy Bank is. They moved into the Midtown area, Alabama, and Fannin, and now it is on I-10 west after going 288, 59, now down I-10, traveling obviously at a high rate of speed. And you can see sections of the roadway where it traveled, particularly 288, are pretty busy.
Especially on a Friday. And Amy, we are just getting word now from our producer who's telling me that these are the suspected bank robbers who are on the run from police. That black Mercedes has the bank robbers, the suspected bank robbers inside. This all started just before 10:45 this morning, as you said, at the 5300 block of Bissonnette at an Amegy Bank there. All right, they are just passing the 45 exit, still on I-10 right now.
It looks like they've exited there. I mean, obviously going very fast. We don't know how many people are inside this vehicle, but you can see him slow down. Not a whole lot. He's not giving a lot of room whenever he slows down behind these vehicles. So obviously very dangerous. And right now we can't see how closely the HPD cruiser is behind him, but we do know that they were chasing them. This is Sky 2. Live over this chase that has just been going on for what, maybe the last
10 to 15 minutes or so, and we just watched the driver weaving in and out of traffic. And you know, on a Friday here in the city of Houston, right around lunchtime, that's when things really start to get busy on our roads. And certainly officers are in hot pursuit of this vehicle, but there are a lot of things that the police officers who were pursuing these suspected bank robbers have to take into consideration. Certainly, first and foremost, is the safety of the other drivers who are on the road, because the person driving this vehicle isn't taking that into consideration.
Yeah, and you can tell he just exited the North Main Houston Avenue exit there off of 45 right there. Okay, so you see him at a stoplight, and he has stopped, which obviously this could be a very dangerous situation. Sometimes we see people bail out of the car. It gives HPD officers a chance to catch up to these suspects, but we can't see exactly where they are. A lot of times they'll back off in situations like this where there are a lot of cars on the roadway. But certainly if we've got our eyes trained on the suspect, then HPD does as well.
And we've got a great vantage point there from Sky 2. The windows clearly tinted, so it's difficult to see how many people are inside that car. And whether those are paper tags on the back of the car, really difficult to make out a license plate here. But in most chases that we cover and see here on live television, you don't see the suspect stop at a stop sign or a traffic light, which is what other vehicles are doing and which is what this vehicle is doing right now. There, he's now going around one of the cars over the curb, right through the intersection.
For a moment there, I wondered if we were watching the right vehicle, but then when he jumped that curb, you can bet that we are. We are in our 11 a.m. newscast. It's 11:01. A lot of people headed out for lunch, leaving from work. If you're in this area, he exited North Main and Houston Avenue off of 45. He's on the north, the I-45 service road, headed north. It looks like now he's getting back on the freeway right now. headed north on 45.
And very difficult to see how many people are inside that car. How many suspected bank robbers are we talking about here? We don't know. But if you are just joining us here at the top of our midday newscast, you are watching a live police pursuit happening right now on I-45 going north, I believe.
So if you hear us talking with producers off air too, they're monitoring, everyone monitoring this chase too from other areas in our newsroom. But they just passed Cavalcade, you said? They're headed I-45 north. A lot of people headed I-45 north on a Friday as it's
on a Friday heading out of town right now. And this all started around 10:45, maybe a little bit before. He's passing 610, or they are passing 610. I don't know if it's a male or a female who's driving this vehicle. But this all started right around 10:45 this morning at an Amegy Bank at the 5300 block of Bissonnette in Southwest Houston. A call dropped about a bank robbery there. This driver is putting the pedal to the metal right now. I mean, weaving, maneuvering in and out of traffic at a very high rate of speed. It's difficult to see from that shot from Sky 2 how close the pursuing officers are to this black Mercedes. We don't know who this vehicle belongs to. We don't know if it's a stolen vehicle. We don't know how many people are inside that car, but we do know that police are in hot pursuit of suspected bank robbers.
It looks like he made an exit again.
On the service road there.
On the service road right there at Airline Drive. And again, it looks like he's going to run into a backup there. Sky 2 over, and the freeway is sort of covering up our vantage point of him. Is that
the vehicle right there? It's difficult to see.
Under?
That might be.
Sky 2, obviously, our pilot, they're kind of trying to figure it out from the sky as well. But as we zoom out here, I don't see where the HPD cruisers went, where they were in pursuit.
We saw one. We saw a marked SUV very close behind this black Mercedes as it was making its way onto 288 just about 10 minutes ago. Right.
And just to recap, if you're just joining us, we believe this all started. We know that police received a call of a bank robbery in progress in the 5300 block of Bissonnette. We do know that the suspect made a U-turn. Is that what you're telling us? So he made a U-turn there, and we're trying to find him just one more time. We were on 45 North, headed northbound. He took the Airline exit. Now we're told he made a U-turn. Headed back, he would be headed back south on 45, so back into the downtown area.
And just look at the sheer amount of traffic, the volume of vehicles on the road at this hour.
Bound on the 610 North Loop from 45. I have to widen out so our helicopter pilot, Mike Silman, can see exactly where we are as well.
He's
talking to police helicopters as well, trying to keep up with this.
He is definitely exiting onto the North Loop, now going westbound.
Wow, at a very high rate of speed here. So, Don, about what time did you pick up this chase?
We picked up the chase right behind the George R. Brown Convention Center. It had been going on for just a short while, probably about 5 minutes or so. But that Mercedes has a V8 engine in it, really powerful, and this car can really move.
Wow, and it's very scary to see him crossing these. Look at how many lanes he's running across and just speeding by these 18-wheelers, these cars and trucks. It's just a very scary thing to watch here. Don, can you update us? I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead and ask me the question.
Yeah, if you don't mind, will you update us again, just in case people are tuning in right now? This is a police chase we are watching. Don Armstrong here in Sky. Can you update us on the location right now?
Well, we're over here on the 610 North Loop coming up on Shepherd. Now, there is a police vehicle that he just passed.
Yep.
I don't know whether he's going to join in the chase, probably so. But that's the first police car that I've seen.
Yeah, that's the first police
My
officer
estimate is at least 100 miles an hour here on the North Loop. Remember, traffic on the North Loop, speed limit up here is 60 miles an hour. So, and they just threw something out of the window there. I'm not exactly sure what that is. It was a yellow bag of some sort.
Okay.
But they are definitely on the move here on the 610 North Loop heading westbound. We'll be coming up to the West Loop here before too long.
Boy, and Don, I have to tell you, boy, just watching how...
We're still on 610.
We've got
You can see that vehicle right there traveling at a very high rate of speed on the shoulder of 610. I believe we're still going westbound, Sky 2, right over this. Now, we don't know, obviously, if these vehicles are hearing sirens, if they're hearing the police chase, or just how quickly this car is coming up on them with no notice at all, but it's definitely a dangerous situation if you're on the roadway right now with this vehicle.
And we are talking about suspected bank robbers. We don't know how many. We don't know how many people were involved in that bank robbery at the Amegy Bank at 5301 Bissonnette, or how many people are still inside that vehicle at this point. Westbound on the loop approaching Ella. That is a very, very busy area any time of day,
Right.
Amy, whether you're talking about the morning commute, the lunch rush, or the afternoon rush hours.
Did he hit that white SUV? It looks like so. He was coming up very close behind him. He has now exited at Ella, so he's off of 610. Let's see what happens when he comes up to this light again.
And we just lost him there for just a second. But Sky 2 right now over Ella and the
610.
West Loop. Yeah. I'm sorry,
That's the
Ella
Boy
and
Scouts
610.
building right there. Okay, so now he's getting back on 610.
He did a U-turn. He's
headed
getting back on
east.
610 going east. Still going at a high rate of speed.
Right. And I'm not sure if Sky 2 zooms out, if we can see HPD in pursuit at all. Obviously, they are. He's traveling at a high rate of speed. They haven't backed off of this vehicle. But to see how many cruisers are following him, how many are chasing.
And so many things that the pursuing officers have to take into consideration when they're conducting these types of police chases on Houston roadways. Certainly, the pursuing officers need to have their supervisors sign off on these police chases. And first and foremost, they have to consider the safety of the other drivers on the road and their safety as well.
Right. You see this truck just pulling off. So certainly he heard something, I would imagine, coming up. It looks like he's going to exit Shepherd. Maybe not. Looks like he's
Passing
getting back
North
on the
Shepherd.
freeway.
You saw the freeway sign there, Yale. Passing North Shepherd, still hugging the the right side
Right.
of the freeway there,
He'd be coming
going
up
onto the
to,
shoulder.
Yeah, Yale and Maine right there off of 610 to see if he exits there or if he stays on the freeway. I mean, any of the maneuvers that police usually try, and all of those are kind of on a busy freeway like this. Spike strips don't usually work. You see him, he has exited Yale there off of 610. But he's turned around so many times and gone one way and gone the other and jumped curbs that it would be hard to get ahead of him.
And really whizzing by a lot of these vehicles that are on the road right now, coming dangerously close to
Turning
hitting
into
one.
This may be Ashland. It's right there where he's going into the Heights now. There's a Starbucks right there that I believe he just passed, and now he's getting back into some neighborhood streets of the Houston Heights.
Yeah, you certainly have a lot of homes there. You do have quite a few businesses as well. You can see passing what looks like an empty field there. And this chase has gone from our busy highways now into a quiet residential area that also has a lot of businesses. And it seems to be slowing down just a bit.
Yeah, this
Not
street
too much.
is just parallel one street over from the 610 feeder. So he's just off of the freeway. You can see he's only separated by, you know, some business stores there. Now it looks like he was on West 28th. Now it looks like he's turning onto Yale. Is that, I believe that's Yale that we see right here, that he is now traveling on, and he's turning off again.
Now making another turn right there. And it looks like one of the tires on that car, the rear tire on the driver's side, looks like it may be a spare tire that was just put on. Doesn't seem to have a rim on it.
Okay.
He's stopped right now. He's stopped.
Now he should be crossing Durham and coming up to Shepherd. And I believe he's on 27th or 28th right there. But all of these, I mean, there are homes, there are businesses, they're both, he's westbound on 28th Street right now, and now he's turning, he's just crossed over, I believe, Durham.
And gliding right around that truck that you see there. Not as many vehicles on these neighborhood streets as we've seen on our freeways on 288, 59, the North Freeway, and the North Loop. It appears he just pulled into some parking lot.
This
Okay,
is a
he's
Chick-fil-A, there's a Pep Boys, there's a Home Depot right there. This is a very busy parking lot. He's turning out, so 610 he's turning in the direction, like he's
Now-
going to get back on 610.
he just stopped there just for a second to go right around that truck.
Right. So if he makes it back out, he'll be back on the 610 feeder road. and
There he
looks
goes up on the grassy
determined to
median
do
right
that.
there. Right by, there's Pep Boys right there. Onto the grassy median and back onto the streets. I'm not sure what street he's on there right now. Brenda, we have an idea what
So
street
this
this is?
This is the 610, the feeder of 610, I believe. Yeah. And
Looks like he just hit a vehicle. He just banged into the curb
and
there.
that vehicle that looks like it was right behind him did have flashing lights. I believe that that was an HPD vehicle. So obviously
There's one
we
right
see
there. There's
many.
two.
I just counted two right there, and one of them that looked like it was an unmarked vehicle that almost stopped him. So they are very close on the tail of this vehicle. So now it is on the feeder road of 610, headed the other direction. I believe we are now headed 610 west. With cops obviously very close
That's
behind
right.
him now.
At least two HPD vehicles in pursuit of this car.
So if you're just joining in, as we watch this chase unfold live now with Sky 2 over the scene, Andy's going to give you just a recap of how this all started at about 10:45 this morning.
10:45 this morning, a bank robbery call came out at the 5300 block of Bissonnette. My goodness, it looks like one of the tires is flat. It looks like he may lose a tire here. They may lose a tire here.
Or that his front tire may already be just the rim, just the tire. I mean, just the wheel.
Just saw him pass the exit near Ella.
Which might be the best thing that could happen if he stops on his own. Not sure how he lost that tire, but we did see him hit one other vehicle, right?
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
that tire's gone. That
So he
driver's
cannot
front
go
side tire
and it
losing
looks like
part of the front
car's
fender.
falling apart, basically, as he goes.
And now the back, you can see a lot of smoke coming out of the back of that car right now. Unfortunately, we have lost the picture there for you.
And here he goes.
Here he goes, making another U-turn. Pieces of the car are essentially flying off as this driver is
so he made a
regaining
U-turn, I believe
speed.
this was at TC Jester or Ella, and he's going back down now. He got back on the freeway again, headed again in a direction that we've already seen, almost as if he's going in circles, doing anything to get away. But clearly, this vehicle doesn't have much more go left in it.
Driving on a rim.
With the
And
front fender falling off.
About to come off right now. It's dragging it along the freeway there. You can see it. Going east right now, we understand, on the North Loop, still trying to keep their speed up.
Right. And, you know, we're following this, guys, because if you know anyone in the area, if you live in the area, you're about to walk out the door, don't. Because obviously, you know, you never know how these things are going to end, and you want to make sure that they do end safely. And police obviously do all that they can to safely stop suspects like this. And so we just want to make sure that everyone in these areas knows what's going on
And the
right outside their door.
driver trying to stay away from all the other vehicles, staying on the far left shoulder of the loop there. You can see just still trying to keep that speed going as
I'm not sure if that smoke is just
driver
coming
flees from
from
police.
driving on metal, the metal on the roadway.
it may be from that, and you can see that front fender doesn't have much life left to it as well. It's about to come off. Now we're seeing sparks from that rim.
Wow. Again, we don't know how many people are inside this vehicle, but we do know that this all started in the Southwest Houston area in the 5300 block of Bissonnette, where police received reports, calls of a bank robbery, and then we know that this chase started somewhere in that same area. So things falling off the vehicle there, that wasn't anything being thrown out. It looks like things coming off the vehicle.
Parts of the car starting to come off. Just the impact of the rim on the roadway, putting off just a ton of sparks right now. And
right now he's very near 45, still on the North Loop, headed east, but coming up to the 45 exchange.
And going back over on the shoulder, staying along that left shoulder. We just saw more parts of the car, perhaps another part of the fender, the front fender just flew off.
And now
Okay,
Almost
so
hitting
we're
that.
gonna-
So he hit a vehicle. He hit that SUV, it looked like. Maybe he might have avoided it, but boy, it looked like he came right up close to the back of it. There's
Yes,
a car
it
going
appears he's on
underneath.
the exit ramp going north on 45.
Heading to back north now on 45. Thank you, Don.
With HPD, I mean, right on his trail there. In fact, HPD heading in front of, is that, okay,
No.
we see him now, okay. Oh,
Trying
he's-
to get down to the feeder
This
road,
is
or trying to
it.
get down to a
The door's
surface
open.
street.
This is
Doors
it.
open.
Here's the doors opening right now. The suspect then trying to,
Not getting out just yet, though. He's still going. This will be back into the neighborhood just up the I-45 and 610 interchange, and there he goes. There's an officer.
oh. Well, we're not sure what's happening. He
The
may have
guns are
come-
This may be a citizen that
Yeah,
has helped
looks
him
like a
out.
citizen.
This may be a citizen.
Looks like it.
One person ran off to the right, Don. You see police officers giving chase on foot. One suspect is apprehended. There's now a foot chase going on for the second suspect. There he
There's
is
the
running through that
that's a church.
building.
It
That's
looks
a
like,
policeman.
That's a police officer.
That's a
running forward
policeman.
in the
They're
back of
looking
the
for the
church.
second suspect.
We see some activity to the top of your screen there, Don. Go up a little bit. You see that
Yep,
person
there he
running
is
right
right
there?
There's the other suspect right there. White shirt,
Hopping
jumping
a fence now.
right now.
He's going to be running out of steam here pretty soon.
Running of what appears to be in someone's backyard there in
White
this
t-shirt.
residential area.
Continuing
There he
cops
is.
are right behind him. They're about 2 houses away from him,
He's
but
right
they've
off
got
the
him.
nose.
This appears to be some sort of
He's right between these houses.
right.
This may be it.
There he is, right there.
No, that's a police
Actually, that's a
officer, I
police
believe, with guns
officer,
drawn.
okay. We're looking for that suspect in a white T-shirt. It
He's
appears
right
to be a
in
white
this area
T-shirt.
somewhere.
See more officers coming in on the scene. Of course, the HPD helicopter is over there as well, so they'll have that to help them find the suspect. Again, he's wearing a white T-shirt, appeared to be jeans.
There he
ran
is.
out of the.
There he is. He's behind the bushes.
He's behind the. Okay.
There they've got
They've got it.
Apprehended. Both. Now it
They've
appears
got it.
both of those
He's on the
suspects
ground.
now in custody.
Yes, I'm on him.
You
It's at 3 o'clock, Mike.
The trees sort of blocking our view there, but you can see through the trees that at least 2 HPD officers now have this second suspect in custody. This was the passenger of the vehicle, the driver of the vehicle. As you mentioned, Don, it looked like a citizen jumped in to help police apprehend the driver of this chase vehicle. Officers getting there, getting that guy to the ground, the citizen moving off, and then the second person, the guy you see being arrested right here, jumped out, and then a small foot chase. It lasted only a couple of minutes before HPD officers able to finally get him in custody.
Yes.
The end of this
Yeah.
chase.
That's how. And here is the Good
Go ahead, Don.
Samaritan's car.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
That's the Good Samaritan standing there that nabbed the driver of the Mercedes and put him on the ground for the police.
And while you're watching this, let's get the folks in the control room possibly to back up the last few moments when that citizen came in so we can see that again. But let's continue to watch this live. That is the vehicle the police were chasing for about 15 to 20 minutes. Chase started right around 10:50, just before our newscast started. We started with this chase and have stayed on it the entire time. We're told that these 2 suspects are possibly bank robbery suspects, and that is why authorities were chasing them. This chase going up 45, making a U-turn, going back onto the north loop, headed westbound to make a U-turn eastbound, make another U-turn in some residential neighborhoods, finally getting back onto the north loop eastbound, and the driver exiting onto the median, trying to get into a residential street right where 45 and 610 split, 45 northbound going north, obviously, and the 610 loop continuing east and westbound. And that is where his car came to a stop because of a Good Samaritan who it appears to us,
And-
jumped in to get the guy out. Here's
Jeff,
the
here
very
it
end
is.
of the
Here's
chase.
that video right there where the Good Samaritan then tackles the driver to the ground, the suspect there. Tackles that and then he goes down to the ground after police comes, and you see the passenger then run off, and you see officers wearing bulletproof vests running behind that suspect, who then tries to make a run for it in that residential area there, and they finally catch him there, what appears to be behind a house. And here's that video again of that Good Samaritan stopping his silver car there.
And you see, very dangerous situation there. Police officers have their guns drawn. That officer right there getting that suspect dressed in red on the ground after that Good Samaritan refused to let that guy get away. And that's an officer running around behind that building as the suspect that was in the passenger seat had gotten out, bailed out, started to run. He was in a white shirt. He ran a couple of blocks but didn't get very far. Police right on top of him. There at that intersection, because that is where...
That is the second suspect, by the way.
There you go. There he is right there, the white T-shirt. That's the guy who was on the passenger side, who did manage to get a brief foot chase in after the car came to an end, but obviously he didn't get very far. HPD has him in custody, walking him back now.
You know, and in situations like this, Don, and you can attest to this, that you worry not only about the drivers, obviously, but especially when suspects are going at such high rate of speed, but you also worry about the police officers who are trying to apprehend, you know, a suspect who's on the run like this, and then a foot chase.
And you can also imagine the radio traffic between the officers because he made a couple of turns, and with this very powerful Mercedes got away from HPD for a short while. And I know that we did our best to try to help them nab the suspect and steer them in the right direction. They finally caught up to him thanks to the Fox helicopter, the HPD helicopter. And so we've got them all both in custody, and all is good. There's a City of Bel Air Police Department here as well. So as you can tell, lots of different agencies here on the scene joining in this chase, but we finally got them both into custody. I'm glad to report.
And Don, that may give us some indication as to where this chase started. They are putting him in the back of a City of Bel Air police cruiser at this moment. This is the passenger who gave a foot chase just as after the car chase came to an end. So if Bel Air PD is putting him in the back of their cruiser, one might imagine that this chase started with a problem in Bel Air. And again, we do believe that these are bank robbery suspects. We're certainly checking that now in our newsroom to find out exactly where this started. But as you mentioned, those are Bel Air Police Department cars and Bel Air Police Department officers who are now handling. That is the second suspect, the one who's in the passenger seat who bailed out after the car came to a stop.
And I would imagine that is the gentleman that you guys are speaking of that apparently was able to stop these guys and help officers apprehend these two suspects. But we were being told by police to sort of take a step back because they are trying to block off a certain portion of this crime scene now. So we're trying to give you guys a close enough view, if you will, of what is going on right now. But if you can tell from that Mercedes, if my photographer Miswa here can show that tire and that rim, it basically shows what happened and just what a wild chase that was.
Wow.
Yeah, and we know we watched as this car hit at least 3 or 4 other vehicles during this chase, and we know we're going to give you some more time to gather some more information there at the field. We'll probably come back to you here in a couple of minutes, Myra.
All right, thank you so much. Good work out there.
Okay.
And we'll be right back.
Well, police are calling it a miracle that no one was injured in this morning's high-speed chase. 2 suspects accused of robbing an Amegy bank in Bel Air led police throughout the city. It all started with a robbery at an Amegy bank off Bissonnette in Bel Air and ended close to I-45 in the North Loop. This dramatic video was captured by a father and son trying to steer clear of the action, but they landed right in the middle of it. Carlos Mora and his son Jose say they heard of the chase and pulled over to stay out of harm's way. When the chase suspect tried to carjack the two, the son decided to fight back. You can see that son protecting his father, who is disabled, inside the car. He tries to tackle that suspect, but the suspect actually punches him in the face. Police then showed up to arrived and arrested that man and his passenger. The son, Jose Mora, says he was just looking out for his father. Police say that son may have prevented others from getting hurt.
Well, the car was coming towards us. I thought we were going to crash, but ended up stopping right next to us trying to take my dad's car. That's when I just reacted and tried to stop him.
It was clear these individuals did not care about the safety and well-being of the public.
Police say those suspects may be related to other bank robberies. The FBI is now investigating.
A controversial DWI arrest involving a Houston attorney now has Harris County's current district attorney looking to reopen